Well, this is me not trying to get into the political fray. 5:17 p.m. West Coast time. It's the 25th of January, Saturday night, 2025. We were Jancy Roseman, California. A few nights ago, Trump signed paperwork regarding DEI to be taken out of the federal government and everywhere. Diversity, equity. That means if we're going to be studying about black history in the United States Air Force, particularly when we actually had a Tuskegee Airmen who earned a hell of a lot of distinctions, well, let's just say that the United States Air Force, part of the federal government, part of the federal programs that they actually had over there, is subject under the executive orders of their commander-in-chief to stop it. Which means if anybody who is black coming in and wanted to learn about the Tuskegee Airmen has to do it away from the United States Air Force or the government. Because Trump has decided that studying other cultures, other racial aspects that embolden our U.S. Armed Forces, they shall not be learned about. Because they are basically evil. Evil to learn about other people's culture, differences, how they would add to the environment that they're trying to get themselves into. And the federal government just said, in a word, well, in action actually, not in words. But because they're denying it, it really means that if you want to study about a museum in the United States Air Force concerning about the Tuskegee Airmen, they'll be taking it out. Any references to Latina heritage, I always get that screwed up in the wording there. It's either Latino or Latina. Latino, I think. The Latin culture, regardless if we're talking about the Central, South American, Mexican, and Spanish, they no longer matter. Basically, he's promoting more racism. Anybody who wanted to learn about the heroes that fought in World War II, or even Union soldiers who had been conscripted, drafted, volunteered. There was a movie of Matthew Broderick back in the 80s called Glory. It talked about a Massachusetts regiment, volunteer, all black, led by Colonel Shaw, who was white. They died trying to take Fort Sumter. But the movie was leading up to how they were trained, how they got in, how they blended into their own unit, and earned distinction to where we're seeing it and trying to realize that there were other races, all other cultures trying to fight for the idea and ideology of America. We may not have heard about it in World War I, but in World War II, there were colored units fighting in Europe and in Asia, actually in the Pacific. We even had Asian units fighting in Europe. It may have been segregated at the time, but they were fighting. In World War II, there were heroes dying off slowly these days, one by one, who survived Pearl Harbor and fought for their survival. Apparently, their names are going to be forgotten in history as well, because that's called diversity. We don't want that. We want unity. Unity for who and for what, I wonder. Because it's diverse cultures that add distinctiveness to our own fighting forces. America is supposed to be a diverse culture. We called it the Great American Blending Pot at one time. You take a basic of a stew, you add more ingredients until you have a full, rich flavor of it. The idea and ideology that blends in the ingredients is the gravy. Maybe of the same type of spicing, but the other ingredients add flavor and add substance to the pot. I think of it as beef stew or maybe chicken soup. Doesn't matter. We add to the pot to make the pot more rich, diverse, and filling. But the idea and ideology that blends everything else in is what makes our country theoretically great. Pluralism. Pluralism. Unfortunately, we have people in office right now who don't believe in that anymore. Never believed in pluralism. They lie their asses off just to get the payday or get their ego stroked. There are films out there regarding the Tuskegee Airmen. There are biopics about them, and there are docudramas, ventures about them. Much like we would make something about Pearl Harbor or Midway, we also do something about the airmen, such as Red Tails, somewhere in Italy, that the black unit was out there fighting for America because they were American aviators. American aviators in the U.S. Armed Forces. Even Eleanor Roosevelt rode with one of the pilots. Confident and comfortable. A white woman with a black aviator, and she was comfortable. And she was feeling safe about it. The old gas bag never knows and doesn't care. And neither does the Trumplicans. They don't care about it. It's diversity that makes our country unique. We're supposed to be allowing it and enriching ourselves with it, with the cultures. Why is it that you can go through a city and you can see a little neighborhood here and a little bit neighborhood there of different cultures? Maybe you got something for Mongolian barbecue, or maybe you got something for a Jewish deli. How about a Jewish deli right next to a Mongolian barbecue? Or even soul food right next to a hamburger place. Right next to an Italian restaurant. Next to a Mexican restaurant. Or Guatemalan. There's nothing wrong with cultural identities blending in. Their origins become our origins. People keep forgetting. And they don't want to learn history. They don't want to be bothered by it. I keep shoving the word down people's throats. History, history, history. It all matters. It all matters. We came from one particular tribe somewhere. According to some anthropologists, we came out of Africa. But because throughout the millenniums and generations, we had to live and adapt in different environments, different skin cultures, but we have the same blood types, different pigmentations, different facial adaptations, different cultures created because of the environments that we lived in. Out of science, not fiction. Gasbag never learned it, never bothered. He only learned about the Botter grift and everybody else who followed his ass. And it scares the hell out of me that we have libraries being raided because they have to be one set of things, one set of ideas and ideologies. And that sound you hear is my dog having a conniption fit again. She wants to play. What is it with us? We don't like cultural references. We don't like cultural differences. We're so damn afraid of changes that it might change to purity. I got one thing to tell you. Go fuck yourselves in the purity shit. We've never been pure. We've never been pure. We've been blended, every one of us. We got different cultural heritage that's floating through our damn veins. It's not even funny. So somebody define what's supposed to be purity at this point. There has never been a pure race. Never. This is a recycled planet. Will they ever fucking get that shit? Recycled in our own values, in our own lineages, in our own histories. As the earth itself renews and regenerates and recycles itself. Did anybody ever get it? I guess not. I guess we really are stupid on this planet. Stupid is as stupid does. And quite frankly, the human race needs to get its brain updated and upgraded. Maybe AI is going to be doing that and making us feel real stupid. But I figure if the machines kind of figured out that we're real stupid, well, guess what, boys and girls? We just created our downfall. Say hello to the Terminator. We got artificial intelligence. We got the Forbidden Project to screw us over one way or another because we created our own downfall. We're supposed to be this magnificent, intelligent people. We send our junk out to the stars and show people what kind of a race we are. Unfortunately, we're liars, thieves, cutthroats, hypocrites, grifters. We don't know and don't care about anybody else except our own damn selfish, self-centered needs. And that's the truth of the matter. We create our philosophies, try to better ourselves. We keep lying to ourselves with that shit. We're supposed to be helping people out. Supposed to forgive and love them. Meanwhile, here's a baseball bat upside your head. I swear, if we ever get any extraterrestrial visitors, and I swear they may hide from us, and I hope they do, because we'll be the nightmare scourge of the entire cosmos. We'll be that one, because we have yet to grow up. We still got maybe a million more years if we actually survived, and maybe we'll actually learn something. But right now, in this current generation we have right now, there's no hope in hell.